What's up, guys? And let's get straight into it and waste no time. And you're probably thinking, outreach, I don't like that. What is it? Why do I have to do it again? I've tried it before in the past and it's not worked. And there's a different method of doing it, and you've probably been thinking and approaching it the wrong way. And who can this apply to? Anyone. Whether you're just starting, whether you have a business already, whether you have an amazing personal brand, this can apply to anyone. And many people don't maximize it because they think it's outdated. And it's not outdated, you just haven't used it and maximized it properly. And let's get into it properly. So, firstly, you're probably thinking, oh, automations and outreach. How can we maximize this? And this is why I'm here to explain it to you. I'm here to give you the solutions which not everyone is giving you. And ultimately, it's what they're doing and it's what they're not telling you. And this is how we want you to win. This is the way to win. And this is a path to be as successful as possible. And this is what you want. So I'm not going to waste any more time. And I'm just going to go straight into explaining it in as much depth as possible to help sure you can walk away from this knowing exactly what to do and knowing exactly how to succeed and start seeing instant results. So let's start with the basics. Do we like outreach? No. Do we like payments? Yes. So quickly, let's also understand why you probably don't like outreach. And it's probably because you couldn't convert, you couldn't capture the attention, or your message wasn't even opened. And I know it happens to a lot of people, especially to the guys that are just starting or want to progress their agency even more. And I'm going to show you how to tackle all of those problems and move on to the next step. So coming on from there, outreach bot. Automate the whole outreach. You don't need to do anything. But even if you do, before you do anything, you need to stop and understand exactly the message that you're going to convey. Because what can we do different? How can we stick out and how can we optimize? Because I can give you the solution. But if you're going to send a message, hey, how are you? No one's going to open it. No one wants to open it. So when you actually understand exactly how to craft the message that you're sending out initially, ultimately you've probably been looking at it from a different angle and you're not leveraging it in the right way possible because as I said, I can give you this bot, I can teach you how to use it and explain how you can maximize your outreach in depth. But if you don't have that initial message open, then there's no point. You can send out 1,000 messages a day, you can send out 2,000 messages a day, but ultimately, if you're not going to be sending out that message and making that message something that someone wants to open and actually engage their interest, then ultimately you're going to be getting absolutely nowhere. So let's dig into it and properly understand exactly how we can start maximizing this process, start getting those results that we always wanted to be getting. And the first thing is the initial message. And it needs to be open-ended and inviting. There's no point having an automation if your message isn't strong enough. So going on there, let's break it down into three different options. And these are ones that I personally use, and this is just one for an example. You caught my eye, particularly your content. I'm curious, what's been your biggest learning since implementing that strategy? And ultimately, with that message, you will have some piqued interest, but you won't have that interest that you need to actually capture and get them to open that message because most of you guys are probably aiming for the big guys that are a bit unsure and aren't really convinced that you're the person that's going to help them get to where they want to be. And as I said, it's all about opening that message. If they don't open that message, then there's no point of carrying on with what you're trying to do. So the second one is one of my favorite ones. And when I was doing growth operating back in the day, this one used to kill. I used to send it out maybe every 10 messages I send, I'll get one response with creators over 250k. But you don't know me, but I value your time and wouldn't want to waste it. So I'll get straight to the point of explaining the key you need to scale. When someone sees that, and it's probably piqued your interest too right now, because I know exactly how to capture that attention and pique that curiosity. And if you're not piquing that curiosity, it's not going to go well. But you need to have, as I said, and I'm going to say it again, once again, and again, you need to pique their interest. You need to have something which is open-ended where they can be like, oh, they can give you multiple responses, and also it's going to keep in the back of their mind because when they go on their DMs and everyone checks their DMs, when they see that and they keep saying, oh, it's stuck in your mind, it will keep there and it will stay with you and it will make you eventually open that message and say, you know what, what is it? What's that key that I might need? And boom, they've opened the message, they've responded. Now's your time to shine. And the third one and final one is, let's just pretend we've exchanged a handshake and you gave me the thumbs up to let you know why you could use my help to hit 50,000. And this is another good one. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, I probably sent a message similar. But ultimately, as I said, they're just seeing the first few lines. So if I messaged you, let's pretend we just exchanged the handshake, you're probably going to be thinking, what? You know what I mean? And if you're not going to have that curiosity, then they're not going to open the message, because ultimately you're stuck in this barrier right here. You're right here where you're not happy because you're not getting the clients, you're not converting, and you want to be doing more, and you just feel like you're holding back. And ultimately, we need to break through this barrier so you can open that message and you can actually make your pitch. And that will leave a big smile on your face. And if it's not going to, then skip the video. I don't want you watching this, because this isn't who I want to be helping. And ultimately, every time someone opens that message, a new chance, a new prospect, a new client. And this is what we're aiming for. So coming on from there as well, final time, remember, hook them in, because if they don't open that initial message, you're not going to get anywhere and you're not going to see the results that you want to be seeing. So now we understand this, and we have different examples, and you can even use these yourself, because I personally use them and I see them working all the time. But use these to start capturing that attention before you start mass sending, before you do anything else, because ultimately no one's going to care. And we're in this day and age, unless you're providing someone with something, they don't care. They're just going to leave you to it. So moving on from there, how can we be just as strong with it? And now it's moving on to the bot. And I've had a lot of people ask me about this, but I can attach the bot in the link in the bio as well. But Cold DM bot, simple. And people are probably thinking, oh, I don't know where to go from there. And you have multiple options. Followers and following are coming in. However, they still work, but all you need to do is think, okay, I want to attack this niche of people and this criteria. Boom. Even if you don't have a CSV file, JSON file, it's okay, because this is exactly where you can maximize and start from ground zero. Because as long as you identify your niche, as long as you know who you're targeting, then it makes it a whole lot easier. And you're probably thinking, oh, I need to do all of this XYZ, throw in everything everywhere, and that is not the case. And the case is literally just understanding, who am I targeting, which criteria of people am I targeting, and okay, am I targeting people that are interested in business and want to start? Then okay, cool, let me go to the followers of Iman Gadzhi, let me niche it down a bit, let me go to Bastian Slot, guys who are slightly bigger in the game and more experienced. You need to understand exactly who you're targeting, and you need to do your market research, because if you're not doing your market research, then you're not really going to shine. So coming on from there, it's coming to the Chrome extension, and this is where it becomes a whole lot easier, because I don't need to run through this whole thing, and I do it more in depth with my students and with the clients I work with. But ultimately, no one wants to be doing all of these extra things, when ultimately you just input your target client, input your target niche, hook everything up, and on a Chrome extension, all it takes is just press to start. That's as simple as it takes. That's as simple as it is. And you're probably thinking, oh, what else is there? There must be a catch. There's no catch. It's as simple as that. Ultimately, you sign up, you link your account, you input, as I said, whether you're a beginner or whether you've been in the space for a long time. If you don't have a CSV file and all of these factors, then you can just add followers, following, and target it down and niche it down. Even the likes, as I said, and I'm going to reiterate into that a bit more. But ultimately, it's not that hard and it's not that difficult to set up. And when you understand exactly who you're targeting, it makes it a whole lot easier. And even with that, with your engagement, because you probably saw likes and I didn't mention it, but you've probably lost a couple prospects already just from posting your content on your day-to-day. And I know most of you should start posting your content, but you're too scared. But honestly, it'll make the biggest difference. Or even you're posting that content, you're getting a couple likes, you're getting a couple comments, but nothing's converting. And that's because you've you're not engaging. You're not giving that initial outreach. You're not saying, hey, how are you? And I'll break it down a bit more, because ultimately, all your follows, all your likes, all of your comments, that's an opportunity. Start engaging, start sending out that outbound message, because there's so many opportunities. And with this, you can even leverage yourself or even your setter. And ultimately, I would recommend a setter who's aligned. And I'll speak about that, and I've spoken about it more in the future and a bit more in depth on my profile and my other YouTube videos. But if they were interested, they would engage, and they engaged. And ultimately, you just need to send out that outbound message with a personal touch, because it's all about personalization. And they don't tell you this, but it's all about personalization. If you don't personalize it, then it's just not going to be working out the way you want it to be working out. So ultimately, just very, very simple examples. As I said, they've come to you, they've engaged with you, you've caught their interest already. So it's coming into, hey, are you in this niche? I saw that you liked my post. Quick question around the topic of whatever piece of content that you were providing them with. And it's simple openers, so simple, and you probably overcomplicate it all the time. And as I said, personalization is everything. Oh, I saw that you were in the niche of coaching. Oh, I saw that you posted a bit of content and around appointment setting or sales or applying closes to people's teams. And even goes down to, how's your content on growth going? How's your content on mentality going? It's simple things like that. It's just outreach, and it's so simple. And even then, this is them coming to you, which you've probably completely overlooked. You've probably been thinking, oh, why aren't I converting with my content? This is a way, simple outreach. And going back to it, now this is where you can actually maximize exponentially, and it's just by setting up the bot. And now, how do we actually set up the bot, and how do we maximize the bot? And it's literally create sub accounts. Obviously, you can't just create random accounts, just have a picture, have a name, but ultimately, the more accounts you have, the more messages you can send out a day. So as you can see me, I've got 3 different accounts, and each bot is sending out around 50 DMs every single day. So combine that together, I've now got 150 messages outbound going to my ICP, but maybe not my ideal ICP if you're just starting and you don't know how to exactly niche it down. But even then, I'm sending out 150 messages to my preferred niche and my targeted niche. And all of a sudden, the bot's doing 150 messages for me a day. And it's easier not to lock the account if you're sending a bit less, but have multiple accounts instead of sending 150 off one account, because ultimately no one wants their account locked, and no one wants to be stuck in a loop where you can't send any messages or respond to any. And that's going to be a big issue for you. So coming on from there, you want to be nurturing them with your content and your page. And how do we actually optimize it is by having a clear profile picture, a clear bio, clear point in your bio, and clear posts. And obviously have a bit of redirection and nurturing with your YouTube and your short form, because ultimately these are just 2 examples. But first one, hello, I'm from China. I'm not going to open that. I know it's a bot, and you probably have had these messages before. And apologies to Christian, but why? Who am I speaking to? And you guys probably, most of you guys probably don't even have a clear profile picture too, but when I see this, I'm just thinking, I don't see anyone, and it's just Christian. Why should I open Christian's message? And I appreciate the message, Christian, but ultimately, I don't know who I'm speaking to. Why should I open your message out of everyone else's? And this won't get you anywhere. So as I said, you need to actually optimize clear profile picture, clear bio, clear points within your bio, and clear posts with a bit of redirection to your YouTube or nurturing with your short form. But overall, it's not going to be working, because if you're going to be sending out these messages and it's not clear to the people who the message is being sent from, and as I said, going way back to having the first inviting question, if it's not inviting, if it's not an opener, if it's not going to capture their attention and pique their curiosity, you're not going to be able to leverage anyone and get those clients. So ultimately, you want to have a clear picture. Although my pictures could be better, I need to start taking more photos. It's cold, it's dark in the UK, and it's not the greatest weather, and I don't advise anyone coming here. But ultimately, if it's not clear and it's not clear on how you make that approach, you're going to be stuck in this loop of, oh, I've taken your advice. I'm using the bot. I've got an open question. I've got an open message. I've got something to pique their curiosity. But as I said, if you're going to have this where they're going to see no one, they're not speaking to anyone, they're not going to open your message, and your outreach is just going to be putting you back into the trap of, oh, no one's opening my message, I'm not getting any clients, I'm not getting any responses. And we don't want that. We're going for greatness, we're going for success. I'm not setting you up to fail, I'm setting you up to win. All you need to do is just listen, pay attention, and start implementing it into your own business. And on that note, you just need to stick out. That's all it takes. You want to be the black sheep in this scenario. You want to be the blue person. You want to have that message where it captures their attention, hooks them in, and then you can say, you know what, this is what I do, this is how I help you, and this is how we can both succeed together. And primarily in this scenario, you just want to capture their attention in the first place to actually put out that initial message and actually start seeing those conversions. So ultimately, don't forget to like and subscribe. But moving on from there, ultimately, we just want to win. We want to succeed. So please, 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 you better be taking notes down, paying attention, and understanding exactly each step I go through. Because, as I said, I can give you this bot, I can tell you how to use it and how to maximize it. But if no one's gonna, if you're sending a rubbish message, no one's gonna see it. And once they do open it, personalization. It's all about personalization, because ultimately you're connecting with someone, and it's all about connecting. And once you've captured their attention, you want to retain their attention. And if you're not going to retain their attention, just give up. There's no point. But once you've managed to capture their attention, personalize it. It's as simple as that. But when you start maximizing everything, putting everything together, you've now got 150 messages per day. Bearing in mind we're doing this with 3 accounts. You can have more than 3 accounts. You can have 10 accounts even. 10 accounts is a bit harder to manage, but I wouldn't advise going over any more than 4. But even then, with 3 accounts, setting up with the bot by having an open-ended inviting question in, all it takes is sending 50 messages from 3 different accounts. That's 150 chances every single day. You have a 1% open rate, and you now have 1 to 2 prospects every single day. Not a month, every single day. By you just sitting back, letting the automation run, being a bit creative, and understanding how to pique their curiosity to capture their attention and put your initial pitch out there, it's as simple as that. And remember, it's a cold DM. That outreach is cold. Unless they've come and engaged with you, it's a cold DM. So you need to remember, you need to put in the effort, you need to personalize it, because they don't know you. They don't know why you're there. Remember, you've just piqued their curiosity. So now it's just about retaining it, capturing it, and making sure you take it to the full level from start to finish with personalization, explaining in depth how you can help them and not wasting their time. And that's exactly how you can start reading in the clients and getting to exactly where you want to be. So now, understanding all of this, and the biggest key takeaway is, and I'll even ask it to you again, is outreach still dead? Because if that's the case, watch this video, implement everything, and if not, come back to me in a week's time, even message me saying outreach is dead, and I'll show you, and I'll even work with you to show you how we can change that around in the space of a week, even less than a week. But ultimately, remember, we don't want to rush anything. Rome wasn't built in a day, so we don't want to speed run this thing and have it all crashing back on you. But exactly understand, why is outreach dead? It's not. So how can we maximize off the outreach to start getting those payments and those clients that we need? We need to have an initial strong message that will be open-ended and inviting them in to pique their curiosity. Then we can leverage the bot. Once we have the bot, we now have 150 messages going out every single day, with you being the black sheep. And once we personalize it, capture their attention, get the messages open, you've now got 1 to 2 prospects every single day, around 30 to 60 prospects if you're really good at what you do and you know how to close them in the DMs or even close them over that call, and you know how strong and you're confident with your offer. It's as simple as that. So now take all of this into mind, and if you still want further help, if you still want me to go over this in a bit more detail and you're still struggling, just message me on the Instagram at Leon Jolmas, and I'll help run through everything with you, help you actually get to where you want to be and maximize on all the other points that you want to be maximizing on. Because ultimately, when you're not looking for the right things, that's when you start to get lost and you miss out on other things. And you've probably spent money on ads, you've probably posting a lot of content on different platforms, messing around everywhere, your content isn't strong enough. And ultimately, it just comes back to being efficient with what you do and using the right proven system. So on that note, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Start implementing this today to start maximizing your results and getting those clients in, hitting those months that you want to hit. And remember, if you've watched this far, that means you're on the right path. You're doing something right and you're doing more than anyone and you're learning. And that's all. That's all I've got to say. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And on there, I hope I see you win.